Hello class, welcome back to your lessons. Well, last week, during the last class, I gave you an assignment. I asked you to read about writing of informal letters. I hope you did that. Well, before we start our lesson for today, let's do an overview of the last lesson. If you can remember clearly, during the last lesson, we were talking about adverbs of frequency. Before starting the lesson, we looked at two other sounds of the English language, which were the ow and the eo sound. And we saw words representing these sounds. Then we looked at adverbs of frequency, and we said adverbs of frequency are words which show us how often an activity occurs or how often one does something. Though we said it shows us how often an activity is performed, we also said it does not, however, tells us how many times the activity occurs. So we admitted the fact that though adverbs of frequency tells us how often an activity is carried out, we also admitted the fact that it does not tell us how exactly, like in the number of times. So we saw adverbs of frequency like scarcely, few, seldom, and also saw adverbs of frequency like almost, occasionally, hardly, nearly almost, always. So today we'll be talking on writing of informal letters. What are informal letters? Informal letters are letters written to friends, family, loved ones, and classmates, very close friends. So informal letters are written to friends, relatives, and families. So we all know there are two types of letters. We have the informal letters and the formal letters. And we know formal letters are written to important personalities, to officials as in our school teachers, the headmaster, the principal, to government officials, letters of applications, letters of complaints. Maybe the results in your report card is wrong. They gave you a fail mark in the subject that you passed. So you write a letter of complaint to the administration. That is a formal letter. Now when your friends are traveling to the village and your grandmom in the village hasn't got a phone but you want to communicate to her, how do you do it? You send her a letter through your parents. This is an informal way of communication. So, writing of letters that you write to your grandmother, to your father, to your mother, to your friends and sisters is referred to as informal letters. The example below shows you the different ways, the different parts in which the informal letter is divided. So the examples below shows you the different parts of an informal letters. Usually all letters have three parts. The address, all letters have the address, the body, and the conclusion. Address, salutation, and body and conclusion. So all letters generally have four parts: the address, the salutation, the body, and the closing. So just like the formal letter, the informal letter also has an address, it has a salutation, it has a body, and it also has closing. So now let's see how we design an informal letter. You look at the image on your board, on your screen, the screen in front of you. This is just one method in which we design an informal letter. Usually at times, the address could be at the right hand. But now in this letter is at the left hand, the address of the writer, the writer's address here is at the right hand. But in other letters, in other informal letters, you could also write the writer's address at your writer. So you either choose the right or the left. We'll see the other design after this. So we see that the first line at the top is the name of the writer, your name. Under it, your contact number. In line 1, we have the writer's name, after which his contact number or his post office number, after which we have the date, the month, and the year. And then we go down to the right, to the left, see, we have the salutation, dear uncle, and separated by a comma, under which we have the content. The content is the body of the letter. Dear uncle, the salutation is a greeting. So after the salutation, we come down to the content. That is the body of the letter. That is where you express what you want to say. That is where you write whatever you want to tell your grandmom, your friend, whoever you are writing to. So it's usually in 2 paragraphs. So content 1 is the first paragraph and content 2 the second paragraph of the body. After which you close the letter by either writing yours sincerely, or depending on how close you are with the person, you could say my best, your bestie, your friend, your love, and you write your name. So as I was saying, there are other ways in which the writer's address can be designed. So as I said, the way the writer's address is designed depends on the level of familiarity between you and the person you're writing to. The letter could still be informal, but the level of familiarity is not too much. So you could use this format to talk about, to write a letter to a friend you're not very close to. Okay, maybe you want to write to your friend's father. Maybe your friend fell sick in school and you want to write to your friend's father. It's an informal letter because the letter is not going to an official. You're not requesting for anything. You just want to inform your friend's father that his daughter is sick. So you will use this format because you are not so close to your friend's father. The relationship you have with him, though it's informal, yet it's not too close. So the way the writer's name could either be, as I said, at the right or at the left hand side of your paper. So you either choose whether to put your address at the right top of your paper or at the left top of your paper. See the example below. This is a letter written by Carla De Luis to a friend of hers. So you see the way she addresses her letter. Unlike the first letter you saw, the writer's address was at the left side. But in this letter, the writer chooses to put her address at the right top part of the paper. So you see, in line 1, the writer's name, Ricardo de Luis. In line 2 is the writer's address, the post office box, and the last line 3, the date. And at the left middle of the paper, the writer's salutation, Dear Julia, and then the body, the paragraph 1 and the paragraph 2, and then the closing. And you see how, you see from her closing word, love, instead of writing yours sincerely, you just write love. She did not put her name here at the bottom because at the top already, she already has her name there. So down at the closing, she could just write yours sincerely, yours faithfully, love, your friend, bestie. So she just writes that because she has already written her name at the top. So writing the word love shows that the relationship she has with her friend is very informal. They are very close. So when writing an informal letter, there are certain things you should take note of. So when writing an informal letter, remember to use a chatty or a friendly conversational style, informal grammar. So when you're writing an informal letter, avoid using very big words, the terms, or your flabbergasted, flamboyant. Come down to earth. Speak to your friend like she is your friend. When you're writing to your grandmother, avoid using such heavy words on her because she may not understand them and the letter may become boring. So when writing an informal letter, remember to use a chatty, friendly, and conversational style with informal grammar and vocabulary. For example, you can just start by, Hi Grandma, what's up? How have you been? Grandma, I hope you don't stress a lot. So you try to bring down the English, the grammar to the lowest level the person can understand. So be friendly in your conversation. Use friendly conversational tones, conversational style. Remember, however, that the paragraphs are still important in formal letters. So even though it's a formal letter, it does not mean that there is no design, there is no organization. Of course, there is an organization even when writing informal letters. So you know you have your first paragraph, your second paragraph, well organized. So it does not mean that because you're writing an informal letter, you just start writing your letter from the top to the marginal breaks, no punctuations, because you think it's an informal letter, it's to a friend. Also remember that you get credit for using more than one way of saying things. So you can say one thing in many styles, in many different ways. You get extra marks. You can say, Grandma, how are you today? Grandma, I hope you're fine. Grandma, I hope you're not sick. I hope your grandpa is taking good care of you. So all those different words you've used, different styles, is to ask your grandmother how she is doing, to find out if she's doing fine. Study the informal letter below. It's a letter to Nzip. You see at the top right, the writer's address, PHS Kumba, PO Box 41 Kumba, and Fit Me. And then there's salutation, Zen Deep, then the body. So study the letter and see how and take note of the soft way of writing, the language that has been used between friends. I was glad to read from you. Congrats on your results. Instead of saying congratulations, the friend just says congrats because they're friends, they know, they are used to using maybe the short words. Congrats on your result. I was also first in my school year. Discipline here is very strict. We shall have our end of year party in June. The date is not fixed yet, but I can't wait for it. You see excitement in the writing, from the way the letter is presented. You see that the person, Carol is a writer, is excited, trying to inform Deep about their end of year party coming up. And she's invited Deep. You know, I like to party. I hope to see you soon. So you see, there are no very big words. Just what as they can understand as friends and from the same level too. So when writing informal letters, be sure of using chatty conversational styles, as I earlier said. Do your paragraphing. As you can see, this letter is in 2 paragraphs. Everything is organized. Though it's an informal letter, it does not mean that it should be just haphazard, no organization, no orderly presentation of words and ideas. So when you're writing an informal letter, you still have to be organized so that the person receiving understands the flow of knowledge and flow of ideas. But the language should be soft, it should be friendly, it should be playful. And you see the closing remark of the letter, bestie, Carol. Instead of writing yours sincerely, yours faithfully, the person says bestie, they're like bestie. Maybe that's how they even call themselves, my bestie. So this shows the level of familiarity between Deep and Carol, showing that very good friends, but they're separated by educational mobility. They're in different schools, but maybe during the holidays they come out to the same neighborhood and they're always together. So read more on letter writing and see other ways in which you can write the informal letter. See you next class. Ciao.